All right, the state of Florida is investigating a drag show following complaints that the event exposed kids to sexually explicit content. You shouldn't be surprised. The performance was held in Fort Lauderdale as part of a national tour for Drag Queen Christmas. The event was marketed as an all-ages, family-friendly performance because they want your kids to look at this nightmare. According to the Floridian, the first act featured sexually provocative content and lewd dances, including what I assume is probably a male with fake, well, whatever, you get it. In a statement, Governor Ron DeSantis' spokesperson Brian Griffin said they're aware of the complaints, making it clear that exposing children to sexually explicit activity is a crime in Florida, no matter how much we're supposed to, I guess, get behind something like this and support it for some kind of woke reason. Also, any evidence gathered from the event will be shared with the Florida Department of Law Enforcement for potential criminal liability. And joining us now is Michael Savage. He is the host of the Michael Savage podcast. I wish I could understand how on earth anybody thinks that a kid should watch something like that, but apparently that's just the new thing.
Rob, I love your show, and I agree with Mr. Grinnell. I think your monologue is memorable, as most of them are. And thank you for having me on the show. Before I begin with my diatribe against these deviant psychos, I want to say I am a sexual libertarian, and I always have been. I really don't care what adults do with each other. Who am I to judge, first of all? Have to say that. But I've always said, when you cross the line and start screwing with children's minds, that's a different story. And it's time for Americans to stand up and tell the FBI to go to hell. If you go in there and you see them perverting your children's heads with this kind of sickness, and they say you're the sick one, well, now you know where I'm coming from, and I'll tell you where I'm coming from. You know, it's been a long vacation time, so I'm rereading some books on this subject, the French Revolution.
Yeah.
Because people say, what the hell is going on with this country? What is going on with the Democrats? Where are they coming from? Well, they are, in fact, conducting a revolution in the United States on virtually every level, and they are going after our children with these degenerate shows. There's no other word for it. I have no other word for it. Now, again, I wasn't born yesterday. I remember even in my parents' day, and they were as straight as arrows. Normal Jewish people in the Catskill Mountains would go to drag shows that they'd have, and they would laugh. They would enjoy them. It was called adult entertainment. So why was it called adult entertainment when men dressed up as women and danced and sang and everyone enjoyed it? The reason was children wouldn't understand such gender-bending shows. It would confuse the kid's mind. A child is very plastic, Rob, as you know, and could think they're anything. You can make a child into almost anything, a revolutionary communist who kills his own parents, as they did in Cambodia. How do you think those 12, 13-year-olds killed the middle class in Cambodia? They were brainwashed first. So what we're watching here is the brainwashing of our children. And these people who are doing these drag shows for children should be arrested for child sexual abuse. Laws need to be passed. People need to stand up, and they got to stop it. Now, having said that again, I'm also reading another subject, which is about the Kama Sutra. I like to read very widely. French Revolution, Kama Sutra, what do they have in common? It was composed in the 3rd century. It's the world's most famous textbook of erotic love. And you find out that people did really interesting things in India and other places, even in ancient Palestine, by the way. If you read the Bible in great detail, you find out people were messing around sexually. They were all doing crazy stuff because that's in the human condition.
Who knew?
That's one thing. But they didn't cross the line with children.
No.
That's why pornography was called adult entertainment, which of course was a misnomer to begin with, but that's why it was not permitted for children to go into porno parlors. We all agreed on that. You wouldn't let a child 10 years old go into a porno parlor and look at vile pornography because it messed their brain up. They could never have normal sex after that. They would think they're inadequate. They would think there's something wrong with them because all the men who were picked had very large, etc. So boys would get screwed up. Girls.
They got a reason to do it now, though, right? That's the moral of the story. Is they got
not only a reason, they have a license to do it right now.
Yeah.
So again, I have to repeat so people don't put me in the wrong category. I'm a sexual libertarian, but when you cross the line into children, then you have to be stopped. The law must come down upon you like a ton of bricks. It is child sexual abuse. And the fact is, this is not education. This is indoctrination. The American public school system has collapsed, which is why our grades are in the toilet, why our children are like number 98 in the world in math, in science, right?
I hear you. I hear you loud and clear. You're making some great points. I do have to go just on account of time, but
I know.
I knew it was going to be an interesting conversation. It always is. Michael Savage.
Love your show, Rob. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, sir.